Hello viewers, welcome to the course on Fundamentals of Horticulture. Today we will be discussing the 7th unit of the course, which is Rejuvenation of the Orchards. It is common to see that every living organism after some period of time that may vary from species to species loses its efficiency to perform various functions. Likewise, in fruit plants also, there is a decline both in quality and quantity of produce after some period of time, as a result of which orcharding becomes economically non-viable and non-remunerative. In the recent past, declining productivity of old and dense orchards existing in abundance has become a matter of serious concern for the orchardists, traders as well as scientists. In India, 30 to 35% area under fruit crops is occupied by old, dense and diseased orchards. For overcoming the problem of unproductive and uneconomic orchards existing in abundance, large-scale uprooting and replacement with new plantations, that is rehabilitation, will be a long-term and expensive strategy. Therefore, research efforts were initiated to standardize a technology for restoring the production potential of existing plantations by a technique called rejuvenation. So, we can say that rejuvenation is the process of pruning and after pruning management of the plants to make them productive by utilizing the existing root system, which mean restoring the productive capacity of the fruit tree. Objectives of rejuvenation: to increase the productivity and economic age of plant, to convert the low yielding and inferior varieties or seedling origin trees into superior and high yielding trees, to exploit the better root system of a plant who has survived in adverse soil and climatic conditions. So, while adopting rejuvenation, we can use the same root system of the tree for enhancing the production. To lessen the time of gestation period, to increase the orchard income, to lessen the incidence of diseases and pests. Principles of rejuvenation. Trees have latent buds which are activated by heading back of branches at certain point to put forth new sprouts which grow into branches forming fruiting area. When the branches are cut back, imbalance is created in root-shoot ratio. As a result, new shoots arise from plant to balance it. Why the rejuvenation is required? The old fruit orchards need to be rejuvenated as they show decline in yield and quality of produce, which may be attributed to any one of the following factors: reduction in the photosynthetic surface area, non-availability of productive shoots, increased incidence of insects, pests and diseases, less penetration of sunlight due to overcrowding of branches, as a result of which the fruits on the interior areas of the tree do not develop proper color. The methodology of rejuvenating the existing orchard. First thing is the identification of old orchards, then top and frame working by power pruning saw, then procurement of budwood and scion from the genuine source, After that, frameworking with latest available varieties, and then these operations should be performed under expert guidance. Technique for rejuvenating the senile orchards. The rejuvenation technology involves the heading back of exhausted trees, showing marked decline in annual production and quality of produce to the extent of 1 to 1.5 meter height above the ground level during May-June or December-February, with the objective of facilitating production of new shoots from below the cut point and allow the development of fresh canopy of healthy shoots. The newly emerging shoots are allowed to grow up to 40 to 50 centimeter length and then further pruned for emergence of multiple shoots below the pruning point to modify the tree structure and maintain canopy size. Profusely emerging shoots in the inner canopy are also pruned out to promote branching. The multiple shoots developed as a result of second pruning are capable of producing flower buds. Now we will be discussing about rejuvenation of old guava orchard. Orchards lose their productivity beyond 25 years due to biotic stresses. In case of totally declined plants, should be headed back to the extent of 1 to 1.5 meters above the ground level during May to allow the development of fresh canopy of healthy shoots. These newly emerged shoots were allowed to grow up to a length of about 40 to 50 centimeter. In this slide, the first picture shows the heading back of branches of guava tree, and the second picture shows newly emerged shoots on beheaded branches of the tree. These shoots were further pruned to about 50% of its total length in October for emergence of multiple shoots. The farmers interested to take rainy season crop can allow the shoots to bear flower buds and fruits. It is desired to promote fruit load in winter season. Hence, to check the onset of rainy season crop, shoot pruning about 50% was done again in May and emergence of new shoots was facilitated. These new shoots emerging after May pruning were found to have high flowering and fruiting potential for winter crop. This slide shows the full growth after 5 months of heading back in the first picture, and the second picture shows shoot pruning after 5 months of heading back. This procedure of sequential and periodic pruning was continued every year for proper shaping of tree canopy and to ensure enhanced production of quality fruits during winter season. Irrigation is done just after rejuvenation. Adequate watering is very essential for the optimum development of novel shoots in rejuvenated trees. So, whenever we go for rejuvenation of trees, we should be consider the proper availability of water, because irrigation of rejuvenated tree is very essential. During the phase of heading back, 50 kg VIM, that is farmyard manure, along with 6 kilograms of neem cake per plant is given. 6 months after rejuvenation, manures 40 kg of VIM plus 4 kilograms of neem cake plus 1300 gram urea plus 500 gram MOP, that is muriate of potash, and 1800 gram SSP, that is single superphosphate per plant per year to be given. adopt management practices, control of pests and diseases as recommended by the research organizations for their respective areas. Rejuvenation technique in guava augmented the farmer's income. Approximately 3,000 hectares of orchards have been rejuvenated across the country through National Horticulture Mission, and the table given under shows the comparison in the yield and income of the crop prior to rejuvenation and after rejuvenation, and we can clearly see that yield of the crop from 4 to 9 tons per hectare has increased to 12 to 35 tons per hectare after rejuvenation. Rejuvenation of old and unproductive mango orchards. About 35 to 40% orchards in mango growing belt are old and unproductive. Many respond to rejuvenation. A technology on rejuvenation standardized on Dasheri mango involves heading back of branches during December to a level of about 3 meters from the ground. About 3 to 4 main branches emerging and having outward growth are retained, rest are pruned back to their base. Main branches are allowed to produce shoots and develop into canopy. Thinning of excessive crisscrossing shoots is carried out during May and July to maintain 6 to 8 shoots per branch. Trees develop healthy and productive canopy after 2 years and bearing starts. Additional income from prune wood and intercropping with short duration vegetables and ornamental crops are the other advantages. So, the space between the trees can be utilized by intercropping vegetables or ornamental flowers to get the additional income. Fruit yield increases up to 4 to 5 times of the initial status with improved size and quality due to better light penetration into the canopy. Application of 2.5 kilograms of urea, 3 kg single superphosphate and 1.5 kg MOP along with 100 kg FYM is recommended for each prune tree. These trees must be irrigated at interval of 15 to 20 days starting from end of February till onset of rainy season. This slide shows the various pictures of heading back of old or crowded branches of mango tree. This slide shows the application of copper oxychloride on the cut end of branches where the person is indicating. This shows the emergence of new shoots from the headed back branches. This slide shows the shoot development after 6 months on headed back mango tree. This slide shows the canopy development after 2.5 years in rejuvenated mango. Now we will be discussing about Avla rejuvenation. Avla, also known as Indian gooseberry, is indigenous to Indian subcontinent. Avla fruit is valued very high amongst the indigenous medicinal fruits and has even been recommended by the ancient Ayurvedic system for sound health. Trifla, Chavanprash and Amrit Kalash prepared basically from Avla fruits are popular not merely in India but across the world. India ranks first in the area and production of Avla. This slide shows the sequential steps for rejuvenation technology of Avla. First, we have to identify the dense, old and unproductive trees. Then, the heading back of branches from 2.5 to 3 meter above the ground level is done during December to January. After that, profuse emergence of new shoots on beheaded branches is observed. Then thinning of shoots for facilitating development of open and spreading canopy of healthy shoots. Well spaced 4 to 6 healthy shoots per branches are retained. This activity is done during May or June. Then shoot management practice is adopted, in which after shoot thinning, selected shoots are pruned up to about 50% of its total length. It is done during May or June. Then continue shoot thinning from pruned shoots up to some extent to avoid dense and bushy canopy. It is done during September to October, and fruiting starts in the rejuvenated tree after second year. So this was the sequential technique for rejuvenation of Amla by beheading the branches. Now we will be discussing about the sequential steps for rejuvenation of Amla by top working. In this practice, first we identify the dense, old and unproductive seedling trees. Then heading back of branches from 2.5 to 3 meter above the ground level is done during December to January. After that, emergence of new shoots on beheaded branches is observed. Then thinning of newly emerged shoots is done. After shoot thinning, top working by budding is done during May or June. After sprouting of buds, removal of top portion above the budding point is done, and fruiting is observed after 2 years of rejuvenation. So, we briefly discussed about the practice adopted for rejuvenation of Amla. Now we will be discussing about tools and equipments for rejuvenation of orchards. Canopy management involves pruning and lopping of branches. Pruning done through manual methods are cumbersome. However, different pruning tools are available to make this operation simple and easy nowadays. Following tools or equipments can be used based on the need. The first one is secateurs, as shown in the picture. It is considered as the most important tool in horticultural operations and is used to prune small twigs and terminal shoots. Twigs around 1 to 1.5 centimeter diameter can be cut easily. Second one is pruning saw. Different types of saws are required for various operations involved in rejuvenation of orchards. The commonly used saws are crescent saws, tapered saws, and straight saws. In general, a small saw is required for cutting of hard branches. It is usually used to prune small branches of 1 to 2 inches diameter. Then tree pruner, also known as pruning shear. Different types of shears as shown in the picture, like hand shears, lopping shears, tree trimmers, etc., are needed for pruning. Pruning shears are used to prune 2 to 2.5 inches diameter branches. Chainsaw. It is a power operated saw used to prune big logs of any diameter. Main purpose of using chainsaw is to save time. Then pruning ladder. Pruning ladder comes in different sizes according to the height at which pruning is to be done. It is used to approach higher limbs for pruning and heading back operations. So, we have discussed about the basic tools required for rejuvenation of the orchards, which contains like secateur, pruning saw and ladder to reach the various limbs for pruning practice. Dear viewers, Today we have discussed about the rejuvenation of the orchards. It is a common observation that every living thing became less efficient in performing with the increase in the age. Similarly, the fruit trees after 20 to 25 years also starts declining in the yield potential. If we have to remove these old trees from the orchard and we have to plant new trees instead of these old trees, it will be a very lengthy procedure. So, with the help of rejuvenation of the orchard, we can utilize the same root system of that old tree, which will provide a very good yield in a very short time. So, rejuvenation is the providing new life to the old trees. We have also discussed about the specific practices adopted for rejuvenation of guava, mango and amla. In amla, we have seen that rejuvenation can be done by beheading the branches or by top working practice. This concludes the exercise on rejuvenation of orchards. Thanks for your attention.